Hey guys, it's Jessica. Um, I figured it was time to um, let you meet the girls. Um, we're gonna start with April. First of all, um, she doesn't talk because she's only 5 and she's very scared, and so I do all her talking for her. If you see my eyes dilating, then you'll know she's looking at you. She knows I'm talking about her. Um, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. But so if that happens, that's what that is. But anyway, April was born when I was 5. Um, my cousin started to rape me when I was 5. Um, he started out with his fingers, and then he proceeded with his penis. Um, that was a very painful thing for a 5-year-old to have to endure. Um, and she held that pain for me for all these years. And that's why I let her color. I let her have candy, ice cream, whatever she wants. You know, I reward her because she was there for me. If it wasn't for her, I would have been feeling all the pain. And there's no telling where I'd be today because they saved my life. She was there through school. Um, there was a janitor that was at my elementary school, and he had a little janitor's closet or whatever. He would always call me in there and give me gifts, and um, one day he bought me a necklace for Christmas, and it was like a real gold necklace, and I was only like 7, 6 or 7. I think I was probably 6 because it was April that he gave it to. Um, and it was real gold, and I showed it to my parents, and they didn't seem to think that it was a big deal. Like a an old man buys a 6-year-old a real gold necklace. You know what? My parents didn't think that was strange. I don't I don't really know. But I found out later on in therapy that um, he used to take my underwear. Um, not all the time, but he did it 3 or 4 times. He asked me for my underwear, and I gave them to him because I was in his little closet and I didn't know what else to do. Um, he touched me, but that's all he did. Um, she stayed around until April came along at 7. No, excuse me, I'm sorry. Sam came along at 7 and started to take over because once an altar holds so much pain, they can't hold anymore, and you create another altar if the abuse is that bad, and the abuse was that bad. I was not only abused by him but his brother, um, at 5 and 6. Um, actually, from 5 to 11, but Sam was born in the middle because there was so much pain and anger and stuff there that April couldn't take it anymore. So Sam took over for her. Um, and I really don't know what else to tell you about her besides she is a little short, blonde-headed girl with blue eyes, and she's gorgeous. And I think I have a picture. I'll show y'all what she looked like. She's very, very cute. Um, but she didn't deserve the things that happened to her. But I thank God that she did, because if not, I would not have been able to live a normal childhood. Um, I owe her a lot. I owe them all a lot. And I lost my train of thought there. She's probably looking and trying to figure out what's going on. So that was April. I'm only going to do one person at a time because, well, alter one personality at a time, because all of their stories are different. In some ways they're the same, but most ways they're different. So I guess I need to go ahead and tell about Sam, because she's in that part of my story. So Sam came along when I was 7, and I was in my brother's bedroom watching TV, and my cousin that had been raping me, his brother came over. Their mom would bring him over, and she knew what was going on. She knew what she was doing. She'd bring him over. She'd get my parents in the living room and get their attention, and I had a place. She would get in there and get their attention, and whine and cry about her problems with her and her husband, and keep them busy while the boys did whatever they wanted to do. Why I never got checked on, I don't know. That's beyond me. My mama says that woman kept her busy talking, and she didn't even think about, her 7-year-old daughter being in there with a 13, 14-year-old boy. She didn't think anything was wrong with that. Even though she knew that those boys had been molested by their father. Try not to get too angry here. Anyway, so I was laying in my brother's bed. He had bunk beds, and I was watching Full House, and he got on top of me and started rubbing on me, like dry humping or whatever, and then he raped me in my brother's bed. And when he did, he didn't take off my underwear. He just pulled them to the side. So they were all stretched out. I was crying. I went through, there was a doorway that went through from my brother's room to my room. I went into my room and took my underwear off and slid them up under some stuff so nobody would see them. Put on another pair. And my mama came in my room right at that moment, and she saw that I was crying, and she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Oh, I was watching an episode of Full House on TV, and I cried over everything." Okay, and she turned around and walked off. Never asked me about it again. And that continued mainly with the other cousin until I was 11. He then got a girlfriend who had a daughter, and I was very concerned about that, because by that time he was back in our lives for some reason. I don't know why, because my parents found out that he had been touching me. That's all they knew until I started to see Dr. K. But they still knew he had been touching me inappropriately, and he was back in our lives. I don't know why. But anyway, long story short, she had a daughter who was 2, and I worried about that child, and worried about her, but I didn't know what to do because I was scared, and I was only like 12, and I didn't know what to do. So I just didn't say anything, and I figured, if he's back in our lives, maybe he's changed, or maybe, I didn't know. I was a kid. So then they had a kid of their own, which was a girl. And I think the girls were around 3 and 5. Around 3 and 5. And his wife came home early one night from work. She was a nurse, and the bedroom door was locked, and she couldn't get it open. She finally got it open and found him in there, in the bed, naked, with their naked 3-year-old. So she took the kids, left, forgot something, and went back in the house to go get it. Told the girls to stay in the car, don't get out, because he had already pulled out a shotgun. She said she had to run back in and get something. She was coming back out. And she said when she walked in, he had sat on the edge of the bed and put a shot. He was a very tall man. He had put the shotgun between his knees and up to right here and pulled the trigger. So, right now he is burning in hell. I do believe that with all my heart. And it kind of helps to know that, but that was the wuss way out. You know, that was the coward's way out. You know, he should have had to face what he did, and he should have went to prison. That's what I think should have happened. But he is dead now, and I never have to see him again, and that's really, really good for me, and really, really good for his daughters. And that's a different, a whole nother story. But so that's how April and Sam were born. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if not, I'll talk to you on the next video.